Most farms are built on land. That's where food grows. That's where agriculture has existed for thousands of years. Fields, greenhouses, irrigation systems, everything happens above ground. But what if the future of farming wasn't on land at all? What if it was underwater? And honestly, that's exactly what some engineers are trying to figure out. Off the coast of Italy, a project known as Nemo's Garden is testing a concept that looks more like science fiction than agriculture. Instead of growing crops in traditional fields, plants are being cultivated inside giant transparent domes, anchored beneath the ocean. At first glance, it looks completely unreal. Large air-filled biospheres sitting below the surface. Rows of plants growing underwater. Divers swimming between futuristic agricultural pods. The entire setup feels more like a colony from another planet than a farm on Earth. Yet the crops are real, and they actually grow. Inside each dome, sunlight passes naturally through the water and into the growing environment. The surrounding ocean helps regulate temperatures. Moisture naturally condenses on the inside of the structure. Fresh water can be collected from that condensation. And because the growing environment is isolated, some traditional agricultural challenges become easier to manage. It's one of the strangest farming experiments ever attempted, but it exists for a reason. Agriculture faces challenges all over the world: droughts, limited farmland, changing climates, growing populations. Engineers are constantly searching for new ways to produce food more efficiently. And that's where underwater farming becomes fascinating, because the ocean covers more than 70% of Earth's surface. Yet humans use only a tiny fraction of it for agriculture. Projects like this ask a simple question. Could part of the future food supply come from environments we've barely explored? The engineering involved is surprisingly complex. These underwater biospheres must withstand ocean conditions, pressure, currents, saltwater exposure, changing weather. Everything has to be carefully designed, because unlike a traditional greenhouse, repairs aren't as simple as walking outside with a toolbox. And then there are the plants themselves. Researchers have experimented with crops like basil, lettuce, herbs, strawberries, and other produce inside the underwater structures. Many have grown successfully. In some cases, researchers even reported unique characteristics that may have been influenced by the unusual environment. And that's part of what makes the project so interesting. Nobody really knows where the limits are yet, because underwater agriculture remains extremely experimental. But visually, it's incredible. Rows of green plants growing beneath blue ocean water. Sunlight filtering through the surface. Air-filled domes surrounded by fish. Divers tending crops that shouldn't logically exist where they do. Every shot feels like a glimpse into another century. And that's exactly why the footage spreads online. Your brain immediately understands farming. Then it sees farming happening underwater. And suddenly everything feels strange. Because humans aren't used to combining those two ideas. Agriculture belongs on land. At least it always has. But technology has a habit of challenging assumptions. The same way vertical farming once sounded impossible. The same way hydroponics sounded unusual. The same way greenhouses changed traditional agriculture. New ideas often seem ridiculous right before they become useful. Will underwater farms replace traditional agriculture? Probably not. At least not anytime soon. But that's not really the point. The point is exploring possibilities, testing ideas, pushing boundaries, and discovering what might be possible in the future. Because sometimes the most interesting technology isn't built to replace what already exists. It's built to show us what's possible. And honestly, a farm growing beneath the ocean might be one of the strangest examples yet.